Oh, because I got hand 7 instead. Or hands 6. There you go. Yeah.
That is rough. That is rough. Well, that's a good way to start this video, mate. Everyone's here. They love the scoop. They want their weekly dose of the scoop. What's it like having a cult following, mate?
Oh, it's great. It's got to the stage where apparently I don't even have to be up near the top to get all these people interested in me, which is good.
That's
But I
great.
suppose that's good because you're showing how it's done, and I'm showing how to sort of recover from a situation that a lot of other people are in. But yeah, it's good. There's these 50-50 decisions you make sometimes. Some of them, I rode a Lomax would have made me 55 points. Didn't do it. Hopefully I make that back up in the last week, but yeah, we will see.
Yeah, I rely, mate. Because you're 3 trades still, right, with me?
Yes, I got 3
Yeah.
trades. I knew I
Frustrating.
had Cleary and Watson out next week, and I was like, do I pull the trigger? Is it going to be worth it? Is something else going to happen? And I thought I'll just hold off and hope Lomax doesn't go too big, and then 61. So,
Yeah,
um,
damn. Damn, damn, damn. Watson, mate, it's a sad time for us, isn't it?
oh, it's no good. He's dropped a couple of 30s and then a 7. It's been great.
And the rest of your team was pretty solid, to be fair. Like, AFB's a good
Yeah.
score, but just tough to get those big ones, isn't it? When you miss, who'd you miss? I guess the Cooks and
Yeah.
who
Missed
else?
Cook,
Yeah, like Nikora
missed Murray, and had like a Ponga instead of like uh, a different
and
50
then the
self
hands,
score and that.
hands 6, Watson 7. Yeah. One of those goes right, you're 930, 940, and make a few more
Yep.
ranks. Yeah. It's tough, isn't it? It's tough. It's tough. So what's the plan this week then?
Yeah. Well, the 3 things on everybody's mind this week are probably Cleary, Cash, and who do you pick as your last half? Like, do you go a half or do you swap like a Whiten or a Plath there and move elsewhere? So for me, I have quite a few mids. Might be able to move Plath there in the last week, but I also have Jerome Hughes who could well be rested. So I
Mm.
have decided to go for half, and I have to decide whether I want Matt Burton, Luai, or DCE. Probably the big 3.
Yep.
But yeah, Luai, really great, cheaper. Rest risk, I'd say quite decent. DCE going to be huge against the Tigers, surely this
Hmm.
week. And then a couple of tough defensive teams, and Brooks taking a few kick meters. So,
Yeah.
like DCE seems to be the popular straight swap this week, and I don't disagree. But I do think that potentially someone like Burton, who's averaged over 60 without Hutchison in the team now, can do
Ooh,
really well
good
with
stat.
some similar looking teams over the last 3 weeks. Slightly easier last 2 weeks, not by much, but slightly. And then Warriors this week, although SJ last home game could potentially be on the cards.
That's a really, what do we got without Hutcho this year, 2024? That's a really good stat. I didn't think of that. 62 without him
Mm.
since round 12.
Kick meters up and through the roof. Sexton
Mm.
isn't taking as much as I thought he would.
Yeah, I was trying to work out. Obviously, the dogs are playing a bit better as well. It's coincided with
Yes.
Sexton
Yep.
coming in and helping them out. But yeah, I was more looking at just that last 5 rounds, but it has coincided with Hutcho going out. There you go. That's a cool start, 62 points. And look, if he hits that over the last 3, I do think he probably outdoes DCE. Let's just say he goes 68 this week. I think there's a 40 in there from DCE in one of those 2 weeks.
I do agree, though. You've got the Dogs, who are the top defensive teams here at the moment.
And Sharks?
Fantastic effort by them. And then Sharks, who are third. So I think there could be a few less points on offer for one of them because he's losing a little bit of base.
Hmm.
And then also you've got strike weapons like their fast wingers, Turbo and Garrick, who aren't necessarily right next to him all the time. So he might not throw the last pass and get that
Yeah.
try assist.
And Burton's still kicking for 473 there, so that's
Yeah.
not even a problem
Heaps.
with Sexton being in there for sure, and hasn't had a try since that round 12 clash, surprisingly
Yeah.
enough. Getting involved in some, the odd line break and assists and just plenty of goals. Hey, the team's just playing well.
Yeah, well, as you said, they have been playing well. He's scoring well since Hutchison went out, and that's sort of when the team finally found a bit of a balance, and
Mm.
since then, they've been one of the best teams. So I really do like Burton. I do get DC. DC is probably like the safe, high percentage trade that a lot of people are going to make because name value, he's a gun, he's always going to do that. But yeah,
Mm.
I think Burton is at least competitive with him.
Yeah. And like tackle numbers have been really good too. Almost 20 for
Yeah.
2.5 misses is
My
not nothing.
situation is I wasn't dead sure who to go between the two, but I can't get DC and Murray this week. It misses by like 15K, so I'm pretty happy to go with Burton and Murray.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that if it's actually something to do with the cash, then that sounds awesome because yeah, like he's still been all over the shop this year, DCE, and even like yeah, Burton
Yeah.
feels like I don't really think there's much difference between them. Like if
Yeah.
he wasn't playing the Tigers this week, I probably am going for Burton personally, and I
Yeah.
think other people might as well.
Yeah, DC often revs up towards the back end of the year. And you can
Yeah.
see he started to do that. Both of them could average 60. I can't really say there's a clear winner, but you definitely can't say, oh, DC all the way. DC could be
That last
best,
four.
but I reckon Burton is highly, highly competitive as well.
Yeah. I don't think 2022 was as crazy. Yeah, he had some
Yeah, a
lower ones in
couple
there as well. So
60s, not as big.
yeah, he seems to yeah, like Garrett gets injured or something like that, and he kicks goals for the back end. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good little comparison, that's for sure, heading into this week. And mate, I just popped up your little following. Then that's how I saw that you had the three trades there, and it's been interesting last few weeks. Obviously, you haven't traded too hard there. Are we going to get in that top 5K? That's the question. Sitting at 7,100 overall.
I've done some calculations.
Oh, I
I
love that.
currently have four top four players in my team, and if we manage to have a relatively decent next couple of weeks, I think I should be pretty well set for round 27. If I have a trade there, plus one or two of the top four people play, odds on I've got 17 or at least 15 or 16. So I think I can definitely make up probably a good couple hundred points in that week.
Okay. 100 points there is 5,600. And then another 50 on top of that. So another 60 on top of that is top 5K. So 160.
Yep.
So
That's doable.
yeah, it doesn't seem crazy at all. There'll be a bunch, obviously, as you'd see from YFSS, that there's plenty that don't have any trades left, right? So that's where it's a big helpful winner for us, that's for sure. That is for sure. Anyone else standing out? Is it if you would go Carrigan or Murray, who stands out?
Look, I
Tough,
really
eh?
can't split them. They both just look like they're going to average huge 60 plus for the rest of the year potentially. Like I
Mm,
guess you could say Kolmatungi's like a tiny bit of a worry, but like it doesn't really seem that way because he's moved back to edge and Murray's middle. Murray averages very, very, very high this year when he's not playing edge or moved somewhere else in the game.
mm.
So that could go in his favor. But yeah, Broncos as well. Carrigan's amazing without Haas. I can easily see both of them being 60 plus, like the two halves, but for even cheaper.
That's fair. Something I haven't thought of yet. Instead of going DC and Paddy and Murray.
Or if you can move Plath down in round
Mm.
27 or something like that, yeah. Or
Yeah, it might be
even
something
move
to
Plath down to
consider.
replace Cleary because he's doing pretty well.
Yeah. My only thing there is that if there's a good chance of Hughes resting next week, it just a little bit safer, right? To have yeah, maybe that another half there. But yeah, it's interesting. They're all a lot of them should score pretty well, and we're looking for guys that aren't going to get a rest is the big thing, right? So there you go.
Oh, 100%. Luai would be high on my radar because he's done so well this year without Cleary, but
Yeah,
rest, I'd put the other two well ahead because of that.
definitely made. And how'd Mixer go last week?
Didn't go as well as I was hoping, but it wasn't too bad. So had the Cleary captain. A lot of people had that, but I got the wrong combo of whether to go Pelite and Cook or Teddy and Brown, and that cost me about 30 points. So I didn't lose. I think I actually just about held rank exactly, but that would have been nice to sort of push about 30 points up.
Definitely made. The girls are dominating, aren't they? I guess
Oh,
it's
it's
some of the
pretty
big
interesting how
averages.
high they're scoring this year. Like Georgia Hale,
Oh,
like she's outscoring Isaiah Yo, which is pretty spectacular. So I think she's she's just a lock at the moment for your
Literally.
team. Yeah. If for some reason she goes down, Taufa's always good. There's the young Dragons lock who was her debut season last year and was like under 19s origin and stuff like that. Very, very good player.
That Tania?
Alexis Taunier.
Yeah.
Yeah, her. She's also had a cracking start in the middle if Georgia Hale does stops being an option for some reason. But yeah,
That's the problem.
Kelly named at center, lock her in. Hale named, lock her in, and then pick that last spot. So
That's just so many
Berry,
mids.
Elite, something like that.
Look at you go. Hale, Yo, Plath, Sherrington, Tania, Adam Fanua Blake, all in the top 10, basically. And Lindsay
Yeah.
Smith. Get in there, son. How good.
Yeah. Probably not now with Fish back, but we'll see how he goes.
Yeah, Lee. Anyone who gets that not named Martin and not named Sorensen that gets a chance on an edge just scores gangbusters, doesn't it? Henry,
Give
Smith,
us
they
more
all just
Liam
seem to go
Henry.
nuts. Yeah.
He's going to be so expensive next year, eh? I was hoping we'd get him cheap when Fisher Harris moved, but he's got all his points this year.
Lindsay and Henry, right?
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah, so any random picks this week? Is it are we going turbo and fullback? Is it that kind of realm or
It's
Ponga? Which one?
it's a very good round for fullbacks, to be honest. So you've got Palit and Berry going pretty well. You've got Teddy versus Titans, who concede the most tries to fullbacks out of any team in the comp by a fair bit. And then you got Turbo versus Tigers. So like all four of those could go really, really huge. And also, given that there's no clearing now, do you start moving that boost around? Do you start boosting that big ceiling fullback this week potentially, instead of going like a DCE or something like that? DCE is probably the half that I'd boost this week if you're looking for a ceiling score. But yeah, I can see a really big one from at least one of Teddy or Turbo.
Probably just depends where you're at. Hey, if you're
Yeah.
if you're chasing points, because they're in the home stretch, obviously, of Mixer as well. So yeah, are you chasing? Are you happy with where you're at and looking to be a bit safer? So yeah, there's lots of strategy in it when it's a very short season, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like you have to react to the trends even faster than in fantasy. Like one that I was very surprised, if you go to the edges again and sort by popularity, I was very surprised to see how many people had already picked up on Bree Chester. So she's listed as edge, but currently playing lock, which is like one of the
Mm.
best spots in the women's for points. And apart from like a random 30, I think in round one or two, basically scored only a couple points less than David Fafita since then.
Yeah, she's a good
And
bit ahead.
if you can chuck a female edge instead of David Fafita and gain extra points from a Cook instead of a Brown, seems pretty worth it to me.
Yeah, you got to base it off the two different averages, like on the mean
Yeah.
for the ladies and the men as well. Hey, so
Yep. I think the
plenty of
last
strategy into
streak
it if
scores
you.
have been 48, 49, and 58 or something last week. So
Mm,
pretty good look.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, there's not many girls. These are up in the 40s, so you got Koenig and her really, and then yeah, Hall from
Pretty
there.
much. How low is Angus? Hey,
Oh, he's had a
I
tough
tell
three
you,
weeks. Tough 3
he's
weeks.
gonna have a big one soon, surely.
There's definitely one in there. Is it this week? There's some people I know that are still just going for it. Like, nah, he's just the best, or he's performed one of the best this year. It'll happen. Fair enough. Like you can't go away from the averages sometimes, right? But what we've noticed in the last month or so, especially after Origins, we see guys go on runs. It's the who's not injured brigade, right? As to
Yeah.
who's going to score the
And
best
often
in a month.
they're the ones that aren't forwards that are bashed up from a long season.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's right. And they didn't rest Crichton through that Origin period, and I think it's hurting him here.
Mm.
Very very interesting. Well, good luck to everyone that's still kicking in Mixer. That's for sure. Let's check the rankings anyway. Shout out to
Yeah.
Chevy Beef Stew. Love that. Munted
Yeah.
Munsters. Let's Trot Brah. The Rowdy Bunch. Up all night to get Lukey. Love that.
Yeah. Shout out to Cookie in eighth. He's doing well. And then a Jamie Brown spoof in 10th.
Oh, how good's that? Who's faking that?
I don't know, but I got asked by a couple of people like, oh wow, Jamie's doing so well. And I'm like, I don't think he's doing it. I
He's
think
not
that
playing
might be
it. Yeah.
someone else.
Yeah, I'm not playing it.
I'll
Wow,
cheer
that's
him on
great.
anyway.
I love that. I should claim it. Who'd you say is an eight? Sorry.
Cookie from Late Mail Crew.
Ah, yeah, no, nice. Okay, good stuff. Where are you at the moment?
I'm 97th, I think, about 100 or so points back. Maybe
Right,
100, a little bit more than 100. There we go.
good man. 1981. Yeah, it's not crazy. 100, odd. Need a big week this week though, eh? Get those captaincies right.
Yes, and there should be some good stealing ones. You just got to pick the right ones, and that's what this one's all about.
Yeah, good stuff. Alrighty, mate. We'll leave it there. Get off, have some dinner, whatever you need to do, and
Have a good
enjoy
one.
your night. A few weeks to go, hey?
Only a couple left. Top 5K.
Let's do it. All right. See you, mate.